This summer, the landmark legislation known as Title IX marks 50 years since being enacted into law. Title IX had a huge impact on all of women's athletics and certainly Lady Vol basketball. And Tennessee athletics has a proud history of embracing this legislation to advance all women in sports. Kelly Harper is one of those athletes that UT supported. She has a great historical story regarding the real impact of Title IX. But first, we thought we would give a little background into this historic law. Discrimination against women in education was the impetus for Title IX. Representative Patsy Mink of Hawaii was the bill's major author and sponsor. The law eventually expanded into every area of life in America, empowering women and making an unequal playing field a little more even. So how did it impact Tennessee athletics?
Before Title IX, the worldview of women competing in sports looked a lot different than it does now. Women's basketball has certainly evolved, and the University of Tennessee was a proud leader in that evolution. So during the time Title IX legislation was being debated in Congress, high school girls in the state of Tennessee played a modified version of basketball. The game was 6-on-6. Players were not allowed to cross the half-court line. You either were a defensive player or an offensive player, and the game was basically 3-on-3 half-court basketball. If the ball wasn't on your end of the court, you rested. While this version of basketball was played because many felt 5-on-5 was too strenuous for girls, the 6-on-6 game was widely popular in America. The state of Iowa sanctioned it until 1993. For many wonderful athletes, this game was ingrained into their local communities, and it was rightfully embraced. But a 24-year-old Pat Head, who had just become the women's basketball coach at the University of Tennessee, knew she could not recruit and win with in-state players who played this version. So Pat added her voice to those who fought for a change in our game. Pat knew that women could play and compete in a 5-on-5 game. After all, she grew up getting knocked around by her big brothers on a makeshift basketball court in her family's tobacco barn. Her toughness is well documented, and it has inspired untold numbers of people around the world. Title IX accelerated humble beginnings for collegiate women's sports. And while the legislation had already passed when she became Tennessee's coach, she built her career on showcasing what her teams could do on a basketball court, and people began to shift their way of thinking.
You know, at the time, people were talking about Title IX. I was unaware. You know, really, I knew that certainly that women didn't have the opportunities that men had. I mean, I knew that having 3 brothers growing up. And I knew that being in college, knowing that the guys down there were on scholarship. And obviously, you know, I never received a penny in terms of athletic scholarship. But it was probably, for me, the awareness came when I became a coach at Tennessee. That's when it really hit me, coming here, not having any scholarships for women, and I guess I expected it would be different at this level. And then obviously becoming educated to Title IX and the impact that Title IX could have. I will say at UT when I came in, they gave me $3,000 for scholarship to give to any player or players. And I gave 3 players $1,000 each. And I remember that was one of the hardest decisions to make, is who do you give it to? And I remember us having to sell donuts to buy uniforms and shoes, and it was, I guess that's where I learned more about Title IX, was being here. And I will say this, I mean, you look at the University of Tennessee stepping up and making a commitment, and obviously Dr. Boland really embraced women's athletics, women's basketball. I think about what he did, and obviously, you know, Dr. Johnson, and there's been a lot of people, Doug Dickey on the men's side. I mean, we had a lot of people say, yes, this is something that we want to support, and we got a jump start in the Southeastern Conference because of it.
As we celebrate half a century of Title IX, I cannot tell you how proud I am to work at a university that embraced women's sports when other places did not. I am thankful for all those who have recognized that women are capable and tough and extremely athletic. We continue to showcase our gifts so that the little girls who are currently dreaming of wearing a Lady Vol uniform will be afforded every opportunity necessary to make that dream a reality. After all, our daughters, our sisters, our nieces, and grandchildren are absolutely worth it. Go Lady Vols and go Title IX.